final big story of the night, and that is Angelica Ross, who, spoke out earlier this week. Was going to bring this up on Thursday's episode, but we got pressed for time. When Lindsay and I get on the line and we start talking, we get to rambling, and next, we end up with a 4-hour damn show. And it was a school night, so that wasn't going to work with this topic. So I was like, let me just save it for Saturday and really break it on down, child. So Angelica Ross, appeared on 2 seasons of Pose. In my opinion, she will always be Candy Abundance. I know she was a ferocity, in season 2, but she wasn't a ferocity long enough. They done killed her off in the 4th, 5th, or halfway through the season. So, she'll always be Candy Abundance. And I just always loved how her and Pray Tell, played by Billy Porter, their banter would go back and forth reading each other. It was always a cackle for me. But anyway, so she appeared on 2 seasons of Pose and American Horror Story 1984. She is calling out Ryan Murphy after leaving her on read regarding the idea she had for an all-black season of American Horror Story. Now, she was supposed to do the all-black season of American Horror Story. They said that they were going to have, and we have a clip, but I'm going to break this down. So with American Horror Story, she had hit up Ryan with an idea that she wanted to do an all-black cast. So they said something or another about, I think it was Angelica, it was Keke Palmer, and some other people. So she was like, oh, I can't, and Angela Bass. Well, I don't know if Angela Bass was part of that, because Angela Bass is over at 911, and she's making a shit ton of money. So you can't even get her away from that. And Ryan Murphy is a part of 911 and the spinoff, Lone Star. So she did recommend, she was saying a bunch of people. She said Kerry Washington, Octavia Spencer. She mentioned Angie from All My Children. Debbie Morgan. So it's called it. But she'll always be Angie from All My Children to me. Angie and Jesse, child. So she brought her up. She also brought up Adina Porter, who I absolutely love. Now, if I don't know who Adina Porter is, she has done seasons of American, but she has done seasons of American Horror. So why wouldn't he think about her? But she's also, best known for playing Tara's mom on True Blood. And I liked her when she was on it. I got that demon. I got the demon inside me. And Tara thought her mother was full of shit, but she really did have a demon in her. The show was based on the supernatural, so of course she was bound to have a demon running through her veins. But anyway, so I love Adina Porter. So there was a whole thing that was going on with that. Apparently Ryan left her on read, and they were trying to come up with some excuses saying that, you know what, we go through a bunch of damn ideas before we settle on the one. But I'm like, yeah, that's great and all. And yes, that is partially true, or that is usually true. They have a writer's room. Let's throw around some ideas. What are y'all thinking that we should do in regards of a new season, especially if you're talking about horror anthology? But I think that's bullshit, because my thing is, if Ryan hit her up and messaged her, we saw the message. And Ryan says that I'm interested in doing this all-black cast. I'm trying to figure out the cast, and we'll get a writer's room and this, that, and the third. You're leading me to believe that we have a writer, that we're about to get up and running, and this thing is about to come true. And quiet as it's kept, I would love to see an all-black season of True Blood of American Horror Story. Especially when Black people love horror movies. There's a whole documentary on Shudder called Horror Noir, where they dig into Black people and their place in horror films and this, that, and the third. We had Tales from the Crypt, and we had, all that stuff back in the day. But we could definitely use horror movies from a Black perspective. There's so many ways there's so many avenues you could take with that. So I really hope that happens. But anyway, let's play this clip, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
Even though people say you're too radical, I'm too radical for certain spaces. I don't get all the bookings I probably could get. I'm not associated with all the brands and companies I could be associated with because of my mouth. But what I know is can't nobody pay me for that.
And I didn't really
I saw it, like I told you, because the first thing I saw on set was her like yelling at the director and basically trying to make him cry. Basically was like, what are you gonna do about it, John? You gonna cry? You gonna cry about it? When, John? You know, like I was like, I was like, he was just trying to tell, like, because we were trying to move scene. Like, she was trying to make it very clear that she was number one on the call sheet and she was the one in charge. And she was making sure that her trailer was right outside of the sound lot. And so one of the actors, like a lot of the actors, just like folks seemed like they were just kept ready to. They wanted to fight her all the time because it was just like she was playing like psychological games on set. Like she was playing mind games with people. And so one of the actors comes up to me and was like, "Can you believe?" He's like, I mean, one of the actors comes up to me. They're like, "Can you believe that bitch?" they're like, she had the nerve to ask us what we were all making for this show. And mind you, I was not in the circle. I was not in the circle when this conversation was happening. And they were telling me that she was playing, she was smoking her cigarette. You know, she smokes her cigarette outside the trailer. And is in like, okay, well, what's everybody getting paid? And I don't think nobody was really like answering the question or whatever. And what the actor told me, I guess allegedly, right? What the actor told me is that she was like, well, as long as you're not getting paid more than $100,000 an episode, and then like kind of walked away. So what I can tell you is this. There were almost every actor on the set of American Horror Story 1984 was irritated. And the thing is that, so, okay, the person I'm talking about is definitely Miss ER. And yeah, I'm standing in front of Emma talking to her like this, and she's, you know, she's in front of me, her back against the mirror. She goes, John, Angelica's being mean. And he goes, and I know she's being, you know, she's not being for real. She's just being whatever. And John is like, okay, ladies, you know, that's enough. Let's, you know, like get back to work. And she then looks at me and she goes, don't you mean lady? And she turns around like this and covers her mouth and goes back here, but can't see. I'm looking at her dead ass in the camera like, what the fuck did you just say? And I'm standing there looking her dead ass in the damn thing, and I'm like trying to process the fuck she just said. And I'm like, I'm standing there and she walked away. My blood is boiling. Because I'm like, if I say something, it's going to be me. That's the problem. And I know this because there was someone who spoke up about what she was doing and they got repercussions from it. Not her, they did. So when I saw that happening, I was just like, I'm done. I didn't speak to that bitch the entire time after that. So we had scenes together and I never spoke to her. She said to me, she could feel the energy coming off of me. She was like, are you okay? You haven't been talking. I'm like, Because, bitch, don't play me. You've been playing mind games with everybody on the set, and everybody's been waiting for the moment that you would get me. I think Black queer media is so important, especially diverse Black queer media, because when we only have one kind, whether it's a kind that is messy or what have you, listen, here's the thing. I wouldn't be so uptight about some of the messy representations of blackness if we had a balance. If we also uplifted the nerds and the folks who aren't always conventionally beauty in a beauty box. But it is truly important because it's not just the rest of the world, non-black people who don't truly know the fullness of blackness. Unfortunately, it's us too. We have not been sharing the fullness of our blackness. When some people get the keys, they're only showing one very violent part of our story. So it's important for women, black queer people, black trans people to get into the seat to tell the stories.
Well, hopefully that's where Angelica will end up, is that getting in the seat and telling our stories. And I'm hoping that she actually takes that idea and collaborates with someone else on actually doing a horror anthology series focused on people of color. They've been taking the Shutter. I mean, don't they have I think Horror Noir is actually a series with a black anthology series where they do horror. So she can work with other people and get those things going. But you know what? And shout out to production, because you put all that together, honey. And I was hoping you was gonna get all that detail up in there, because I know we be pressed for time with the clips, but I was like, y'all need to hear all of that, the nuance and all that other stuff. So I thoroughly appreciate and applaud Angelica for coming out and saying what she needs to say, because so many people be so scared to come out and say things about what's going on in the industry because they worrying about, I won't ever work again, and this, that, and the third. You see what's going on now with these the writer's strike and the actor's strike and the AMPTP and all this other mess, that these actors are at the mercy of these studios, but they're out here and they standing firm and they standing strong, and they re-elected Fran Drescher because she's standing behind them with this whole situation. But with Angelica, I'm glad she's like, you know what, this Hollywood don't define who I am. These people over here, y'all don't get to control this situation. And I heard that Angelica received an apology from Emma Roberts, and they said, well, why didn't you address her in private? Why did you have to put it on social media and call her clout chasers as the third? Because it's like, you handle things in private. She's done this before. When she broke down that whole story about Ryan Murphy and the drama that happened behind the scenes on American Horror Story, where she was doing a scene in a car and one of the crew members was wearing a racist t-shirt and wore a different racist t-shirt every day, talking about well, one was about kneeling and not being against it and all these other things, and her blood was boiling from that. So this guy's wearing this thing, she's trying to get them to get him to take that shirt off. Everybody's aware of what he's wearing is inappropriate and problematic, but nobody's saying nothing because they're all uncomfortable. You coming to her, but you want her to be the one to come out and say so. And that's another thing that irritates me when it comes to being in the workplace or whatever. Why is it that we as people of color always got to be the ones that A, become uncomfortable in situations, and B, have to be the ones that always have to have the balls to speak up when we look to the allies to come out and speak for us? But then y'all want to call yourselves a goddamn ally, like Ryan Murphy thought he called himself when he got on the phone, because she said she went and called the head of Ryan Murphy Productions, trying to get something going. It was taking too damn long. And she said, I'm not coming on my trailer and I'm not shooting another damn scene until y'all deal with this man with this fucking shirt. So he wouldn't take it off. He was cussing and being disrespectful and this, that, and the third. And then Ryan finally because she went and put it on social media. She posted something about it while she was on set, and they got upset over there because now you bringing attention to something that's going on over here. But sometimes you got to use the media to get that point out there, because a lot of y'all not going to do your damn job. So I need to get the ball rolling. So I'm gonna put out, and I know that you notice a lot of time when people put things out on social media and the world and the public becomes aware of what's going on a lot of times on these movie sets or whatever the case is, then things get done. 9 times out of 10, it becomes performative on the behalf of Hollywood, because they love being performative when it comes to stuff. We've seen that happen when they talk about diversity and all this other stuff, and then the minute this whole thing went, that I forget what it was called, the thing went down, y'all fired 3 or 4 black women who were working in the diversity departments. So I've always said that Hollywood always tries to act like they walk the walk, but a lot of times it's all performative. And so I'm gonna get to the rest of the story afterwards, but Sailor Mermaid says, while yes, we should have our own voices and content, it's hard to push it because many people aren't going to promote it, nor have the backing of a major industry. Child, white progressives and liberals are not that different from their conservative counterparts. Absolutely. A lot of this shit with the liberals now, it's all performative. I'm not buying into it. I always say show it in your actions. And then Ryan Murphy gets on the phone and calls Angelica cussing her out, talking about, I've been an ally to the community and this, that, and the third, and why are you doing this? And it's like, hold on now. Allies don't go around letting people know they're a damn ally. You either show it in your actions or don't show it at all. So to me, it feels like Ryan Murphy's a fake ass queen, typical white gay man who can move a lot more in spaces versus a black trans woman who is quiet as is kept at the bottom of the totem pole. They say this shit all the time. Y'all think black women got it bad? Black trans women got it worse. So she don't really, so a lot of times it's like, you know what, based on the background and the way that people of color, and especially if you're queer, have grown up and had to maneuver through life, we have a bigger fight that we have to go. So we always on the defense. So I totally get where she's coming from. But when you have people in your own industry who don't have your back, and she is an activist outside of all this, but when I got to come to work and I got to shoot a scene and I'm now in an environment that is hostile and uncomfortable because you got crew members who want to wear racist t-shirts, you got an actress whose head so far up on goddamn ass that she thinks that like the call sheet on a mediocre ass horror show. American Horror Story ain't been popping since Coven, quiet as it's kept. And I seen the first, you know, and I debated whether or not I was going to watch it. She's on the new season of American Horror Story Delicate with Kim Kardashian. And on Saturday, because technically it's the next day, I watched the episode of, I watched the first episode. It's all right. It was a bunch of nothing. Typical American Horror Story. American Horror Story, like I said, hasn't been good in so long. I don't know, maybe you need to really like search for some good horror writers because it's just boring. It just felt like a boring ass Rosemary's Baby ripoff so far. And Kim Kardashian wasn't that bad. Kim Kardashian felt like she was playing herself, or she was playing a version of her mother, Kris. So it was cute or whatever, but I don't feel like we should be expecting Shakespeare to be coming from out of American Horror Story because I don't think it's gonna happen. But anyway, so to get to the closer of this, you did see earlier, it did say that she's leaving Hollywood. So the 42-year-old who broke new ground on Pose in 2018 and as one of several transgender principal performers headlining the show's main cast, revealed the news Thursday after she made headlines Wednesday for calling out AH's 1984 co-star Emma Roberts for allegedly misgendering her on the set of the Ryan Murphy produced show. Said, for the folks who haven't put it together yet, I'm leaving Hollywood. This is what she wrote on social media, going on to reference no holds barred character she portrayed on Pose. There are multiple articles that will be coming out detailing this, so I suggest you and your faves play nice because I'm a black trans woman with nothing to lose. Candy was born from my body. If you know, you know. If you do, you do. Because she initialed it. So I had to take a moment to figure out what she wrote. Now, Rep for Ross did not immediately respond to Entertainment Weekly's request for additional comment. So, like I said, Emma Roberts apologized. And that's cute or whatever. But is it that you were really sorry or you're sorry you got caught? And I mean, you were put on blast, and you know the people flooded her comments with a lot of hate. Want to beat her ass because of Angelica telling her story, so people feeling protective. And so Emma got on there and apologized, and then they were like, "Well, why'd you have to go public and say that she apologized?" So that way, people could stop on social media attacking this girl. So now that you said there's a resolution because it was already put out on social media, now people could back off. But I believe she only said it because she didn't want to smoke. So, that is what it is. But I really hope that Angelica doesn't leave Hollywood. I hope she reconsiders. I just hope she just takes a break, takes a beat, and then, you know, come back as a producer, director, try to find a way to get, you know, meet some people that you know and come up with some stuff and get this idea up and running. Because we definitely I would love to see a horror anthology series or a horror movie or whatever the case is, feature all black cast. We do love horror movies over here. Look, they had the Black, and that movie did pretty good.